This is a definition of going backwards. This is like Goldust going back to Dustin Rhodes. This is like if Cody Rhodes would have went right back to Stardust out of nowhere. This would be like, you know, Jey Uso, main event and Jey Uso going back to the Usos and being a tag team with Jimmy again. This would be like Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief, OC, Roman Reigns, going back to Big Dog, Roman Empire, Roman Reigns, who got booed all the time for being a plain babyface. What I've learned in wrestling is that as a viewer and just watching it, you have to evolve as a character in wrestling. That's what we all have learned. We learned that through Chris Jericho. We learned that through Undertaker. We learned that through Kane. We learned through that with The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. You got to constantly evolve. Okay, and that's what Toni Storm did. She evolved her character in AEW. Not a lot of people evolve in AEW. Only a few people have actually evolved in All Elite Wrestling. And Toni Storm, she struck a gold mine with the timeless gimmick. Marilyn Monroe-esque, right? Playing that Hollywood ditzy blonde, bombshell. That's a movie star. She's Hollywood. She's all glitz and glamour. That gimmick was so over. It worked for Toni Storm. That was her bread and butter. Okay, and for the duration of her run as timeless Toni Storm, she was consistent and she was the most over act on Dynamite Collision. Out of all the female wrestlers in AEW, aside from Chris Statlander, who I think has been doing an amazing job with her character development, even Willow Nightingale, I thought she's done an exceptional job developing her character as well. But Toni Storm, she really picked it up. She really found her niche. She found herself. And now we fast forward after All In from August. She announces that she's retiring from pro wrestling. And we're trying to figure out, what does that mean? She's very young still. Why is she looking to retire? Doesn't make a lot of sense. But then fast forward to this week's Dynamite, we see the original Toni Storm. The Toni Storm that got pie-faced by Charlotte Flair and had a very underwhelming run on SmackDown and even an underwhelming title reign, her first title reign in AEW. Okay? She came back to little fanfare. And, you would think, okay, we're supposed to be excited because Toni Storm is back. Tony Khan's thinking we all should be excited that Toni Storm is back. Well, Tony Khan, I hate to break it to you, but we're not excited. We are not entertained. We don't care. Toni Storm is back to where she was before. Okay, the first go around. This is what you call character regression. Okay, a character that goes back to their original gimmick, their original, form, their original ways, okay? And they steered away from what actually worked. They move away from something that was getting over, that was popular with the fans. Okay, do you think we're supposed to care about this version of Toni Storm? to fight Mariah May. Okay, maybe for the title match and for the rest of the feud, we might kind of care. Me personally, I don't care. But for the AEW fans, they might care. But afterwards, what's next? What's next for Toni Storm? She loses to Mariah May. Okay, then what? Even if she beats Mariah May for the title, what is next? Where do you go from here? It's like with the women, there's no real direction. The only real direction any woman has in that roster is Mercedes Moné. Okay, the one that's getting paid the most Moné in AEW. She has the most direction, and she's the one doing a lot in AEW. So where does that leave everyone else is the question. So this is definitely an L. Toni Storm regresses, and this was a big flop. So I mean, I don't know, man. We need to get back to character development and real gimmicks in wrestling.